All right, everyone. Here's what went down with the Knicks recently. Mike Brown came out and confirmed that we're going to see some notable changes this season, especially regarding how Jaylen Brunson is going to be used. Now, this is important because, as we all know, Brunson has been one of the key pieces for New York over the past couple of seasons, but the coaching staff clearly wants to get more creative with his role. Brown made it clear that one of the big goals this year is to have Jaylen handle the ball less, moving him into a more off-ball role. That's a big shift in approach, and it could really open up the floor for him and the rest of the team. Additionally, Brown confirmed that the rotation is going to expand to 10 players this season. That's another huge development because it signals that the Knicks are going to spread minutes more evenly, involve more guys, and try to maintain energy and freshness throughout the season. We all know how critical depth is in today's NBA, and this move will likely give the team more flexibility, especially when you consider late-game situations, injuries, and matchup consideration. During Media Day, Brown sat down and spoke at length about what he's been working on this offseason. He explained that communication with the players has been ongoing at a high level throughout the summer, starting well before official training even began. Optional workouts have been happening, and the participation has been impressive. Players are showing up, putting in work, and it's clear that the team is laying a solid foundation for the season ahead. From a coaching perspective, this is exactly the kind of commitment you want to see. It's not just about showing up, it's about being proactive and staying engaged in preparation. But what really caught my attention was Brown's comment about Jaylen Brunson. The question from the media was essentially about whether we'd see him more off the ball this season, how that might work, and if Brown believed it could help maximize his effectiveness. Here's the thing. Brunson is incredibly versatile, and the coaching staff sees an opportunity to get him easier shots while keeping him as a dynamic threat on the floor. Brown talked about the importance of catch-and-shoot threes, moving off the ball after touching the paint, and creating situations where he can score without having to control every possession. This isn't about taking responsibility away from Jaylen. It's about optimizing his talent and ensuring he's in the right spots to be deadly, while also helping the team flow better overall. From what I've seen so far in these workouts, Brunson seems to be embracing the change. It's clear that conditioning is key because this style of play demands constant movement, but he's showing he can handle it. The idea here is that by reducing the amount of time he spends handling the ball, especially late in games, the Knicks can make the offense smoother and more efficient. They want to create high-percentage looks, particularly open threes, while also maintaining options for cuts and dribble drives. Essentially, it's a way to make life easier for Jaylen and the team while keeping him involved in impactful moments. Honestly, I love what Mike Brown is doing here. This approach recognizes Brunson's strengths while also adding a new layer to the offense. Using him more off the ball, emphasizing movement and spacing, and spreading responsibility across a deeper rotation is exactly the kind of thinking you want from a head coach in today's league. This strategy could not only make Jaylen more effective, but also elevate the rest of the roster as everyone benefits from better spacing, quicker ball movement, and more balanced scoring opportunities. All right, so let's dive a little deeper into what Mike Brown and the Knicks are doing with Jaylen Brunson this season. One of the biggest things to understand here is that if Brunson has the ball less in his hands, it doesn't mean he's going to be less impactful. On the contrary, this opens up a ton of possibilities for the offense. Brown has been emphasizing player movement, dribble drives, cuts, basically keeping the defense on its toes. The moment Brunson is constantly moving off the ball, defenders won't know who to stick with or how to rotate properly. And that creates wide-open shots, not just for him, but for other key players like Karl-Anthony Towns. Last season, defenses could essentially just double-team Towns or Brunson and force everyone else to make plays. There wasn't a consistent plan to punish that. But under Mike Brown, there is now a very clear strategy. The goal is simple: get the highest percentage shots for everyone on the floor, no matter who takes them. Constant movement, playing fast, playing with pace, these are the pillars of how the Knicks are going to operate this season. And it's not just talk. Brunson has been fully embracing this approach during summer workouts and optional practices. He's excited to play this way, and it's clear he wants to be part of this new, more dynamic system. I also want to give a shout-out to NBA insider Kristen Winfield from the New York Daily News, who shared some great insight from Brunson himself. Jaylen has said that he's been in different roles throughout his career, and he's confident he can adjust to this off-ball role as long as he locks into it and understands what he needs to do. That mindset is huge because it shows he's flexible and willing to adapt for the good of the team. And then you have Karl Anthony Towns giving a perspective that really stood out. He even compared the way the Knicks can use Brunson to how the Warriors utilize Steph Curry. Now, I'm not saying Jaylen is Steph Curry, but the point Towns is making is very smart. You can create situations where Brunson gets excellent scoring opportunities without him having to force every possession. He can move off the ball, make cuts, use screens, and still get open looks. And that makes him even more dangerous and efficient. Think about it. Steph Curry is constantly moving, constantly creating opportunities, and defenses struggle to keep up with him. Brunson can do something similar. With this Knicks roster, if everyone in the starting lineup becomes a threat in their own right, it's going to make Brunson's life much easier. Towns will have more space inside, Brunson will have better looks, and the team's pace and spacing will just elevate everyone. Brunson is a high IQ player, and if he locks into this system, he'll thrive even with less ball handling. This is a smart move because sometimes efficiency is more important than raw usage, and I fully expect his numbers to reflect that. His shooting percentages, his assist numbers, his overall efficiency should all improve because he'll be feeding teammates in better positions where they can actually make their shots, something that didn't always happen last season. And then there's the rotation. Mike Brown made it clear he's planning to expand it to 9 or 10 players, which is huge. That means more guys are going to get meaningful minutes, which will help keep the team fresh, especially late in games, and allow Brown to match up better against different opponents. Depth is key in today's NBA, and this approach is going to give the Knicks a lot more flexibility. Players will have defined roles, the offense will flow better, and Brunson's off-ball movement is just one piece of that bigger plan. So, to summarize, this isn't about reducing Jaylen's role, it's about making him more efficient, making the offense more dynamic, and creating opportunities for everyone on the floor. He's going to be fine. He's going to thrive. The ball in his hands less? That's actually a very good thing because it will free him up to focus on cutting, shooting, and making smart plays without the pressure of running the offense every possession. And with a deeper rotation of 9 or 10 guys, this Knicks team is setting itself up for a more balanced, more adaptable, and more dangerous style of play this season. All right, let's continue breaking down what Mike Brown had to say, and this part is all about the rotation. This is huge news for Knicks fans because Mike Brown has confirmed that he's planning to expand the rotation. Insider Chris Persiani echoed this, reporting that Brown typically runs a 9.5 to 10-man rotation. Brown himself has said, "I try to play as many guys as I can." And that's exactly what you want to hear from a coach who's committed to depth and flexibility. We also got confirmation from James L. Edwards, another NBA insider from The Athletic, who reinforced that Brown is absolutely going to go deeper with his rotation. In the past, he's usually worked with 9 or 10 guys, but this season, with the new approach, it sounds like we're going to see all 10 players getting meaningful minutes from the start, not just in garbage time or blowout. That's massive because it shows a clear commitment to involving everyone and keeping players fresh, while also maximizing matchup advantages throughout the game. I have to say, as much as I love the move with Jaylen Brunson being used more off-ball, the rotation expansion is music to my ears. Imagine this, the starting lineup stays intact, but off the bench, we could see a mix of familiar faces and new players getting their opportunity. Some nights, you might see different rotations entirely, depending on matchups or strategic choices. Under Tom Thibodeau, this just never happened. You'd maybe get 7 or 8 guys, sometimes 9 if it was garbage time, but now, Brown is telling us, from jump, we're going to see 10 players contributing. That's huge for development, chemistry, and overall team performance. Think about why the Knicks signed Jordan Clarkson and Gerson Yabusele, why they brought in multiple rookies and young players. The answer is simple. They intend to use them. They want to expand the rotation, play the matchups, and get these guys meaningful minutes so that when the postseason comes around, the entire roster, starters, and bench is already comfortable playing together. That chemistry can make a difference when you're competing for an Eastern Conference Finals spot or beyond. Last season, that was a weak point, and Brown is addressing it immediately. Now, just to put a little context on the expectations, FanDuel has updated odds for the Eastern Conference, and the Knicks are sitting at plus 340, behind the Cavaliers at plus 220, but ahead of teams like the Orlando Magic, Hawks, Pistons, and Philadelphia 76ers. These odds reflect all the moves the Knicks have made, their roster depth, and the way they are shaping up under Mike Brown. The Knicks are legitimately a contender this season, and these moves show that management and coaching are serious about competing at the highest level. Here's the part I love. When Mike Brown talks about this season, he doesn't sound worried, stressed, or overwhelmed by the pressure. He's excited, he's hyped, he wants to see what this roster can do, how different lineups and matchups play out, and how he can maximize everyone's contribution. He's experimenting, exploring, and thriving under this pressure, which is exactly what you want from a head coach. And it's not just him. Every Knicks player is responding. They're showing up to these voluntary open workouts, engaging with the system, learning Brown's mindset, and preparing for the season. That kind of commitment from both the coach and players is what builds a successful team culture. So, when you put it all together, the Brunson off-ball role, the expanded 10-man rotation, the integration of bench and young players, you start to see a Knicks team that's not only deep, but also flexible, adaptable, and dangerous. This season, we're going to see a team that plays fast, moves the ball, and has multiple scoring threats on the floor at all times. And that, my friends, is the Mike Brown Knicks philosophy in action. Now, let's talk about what these open workouts really mean. This is where everything starts to come together. Mike Brown isn't just checking boxes. He's observing. He's watching who's on the floor, what their roles are, how his offensive and defensive schemes are translating in real time, whether the chemistry is clicking, or if there are any issues that need to be addressed. He's talking with players, making sure everyone's motivated and aligned with the team's goal. And from what we've seen, the Knicks players are fully locked in. They're showing up, putting in the work, and engaging with the system. That kind of commitment is a huge indicator of the mindset in the locker room this season. You can tell they cannot wait for training camp to start, for preseason games to tip off, and for the regular season to get underway. The energy is high, the focus is intense, and it starts right here, right now, with Media Day giving us a glimpse of the preparation and excitement behind the scene. Knicks basketball is officially back, and with it comes hope for breaking a championship drought that's lasted 53 years. That's right, 53 years. The ultimate goal is clear: bring a title home to New York. And if there's any team that has the pieces, the coaching, and the determination to do it, it's this current Knicks roster. I believe in them, and I'm excited to see how far they can go this season. But I want to hear from you guys as well. Do you believe in this team? Do you believe this is the year the Knicks bring a championship back to New York? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I want to hear what you think. That wraps up today's breakdown. But if you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button, leave a comment with your opinions, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the latest updates on the Knicks. This is going to be an exciting season, and from what we've seen so far, the energy, the preparation, and the mindset in New York are all pointing towards something special. So, Knicks fans, take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and take care of each other. Keep that energy going, and get ready for a season that could very well change the narrative in New York basketball. Peace, and we'll see you next time.